Welcome to the Safe Travel Tips section of UT Austin's pre-departure orientation. In our first video, we discussed the steps you should take before going abroad. Now we will examine what tips can help keep you safe during your international experience. If you have questions concerning traveling abroad after watching this video, please contact the Global Risk and Safety Office, and we will answer any questions you may have.
It is incredibly important to prepare against risk abroad. Here is a list of common risks to travelers that you should be aware of. While you may know how to swim, remember that drowning is a common occurrence amongst travelers. To take precautions, only swim at designated beaches. Be able to recognize rip currents and pay attention to local swimming conditions. Drowning is a large threat, especially when paired with alcohol consumption. Never swim alone and make sure you know your limits.
Traveling abroad also increases the risk for your personal safety. The most common ways you can keep yourself safe are to trust your instincts and use common sense. First, keep a low profile. Often travelers do not consider how their normal behavior in public can affect their safety. It is important to be aware of how you are acting. Do not be loud and pay attention to your surroundings. Do not wear headphones. Do not engage in displays of wealth, such as openly carrying an iPhone, and think before taking photos to decide whether it is appropriate or respectful.
Car accidents are the #1 killer of healthy U.S. citizens of foreign countries. The rules of the road in your new country might be very different from what you're used to back home, so be aware of local driving habits and how cars interact with pedestrians. Are road signs and traffic laws generally obeyed or enforced? Are cars sharing the road with animals or other forms of transportation? What are road conditions like? Above all, pay attention to what's happening around you. Similarly, do some research on what are safe forms of transportation in your area. Is public transit safe? What about Uber or other forms of rideshare? Can you hail a taxi off the street? ISOS and the U.S. Department of State will help you answer these questions.
Next, do not engage with catcallers. Catcalling is prevalent in many parts of the world. Do your research on the culture of catcalling in your destination. Is catcalling or groping prevalent in the region? What is culturally considered appropriate dress? To combat any aggressive behavior, move assertively and do not engage. Whenever possible, travel in groups as there is safety in numbers. If threatened in any way, seek help immediately.
LGBTQ+ travelers, for your personal safety, do research on the perception of LGBTQ in your destination. There are a number of resources available on the Global Risk and Safety website. Learn the local context and laws concerning sexual orientation and gender identity. Take local attitudes into consideration when deciding how to discuss your personal identity in your new location. And finally, for your safety, never under any circumstances hitchhike while abroad.
Theft commonly affects international travelers. The two most common styles of theft against travelers occurs at ATMs and from pickpocketers. ATMs can be hotspots for theft. ATM skimmers are quite common. To lower the risk of theft, only use secure ATMs in well-lit areas during daylight. Examples of secure, well-lit areas include inside of a bank, hotel, or shopping center. Do not use an ATM if it looks like the card reader or the keypad has been altered in any way. Regularly check bank account balances to ensure no theft has occurred. It is also a good idea to alert your bank you will be abroad so that they can monitor your accounts as well.
Pickpocketing is also incredibly common in many regions of the world. It is important to be careful and aware of pickpocketing while in public. It is smart to know which areas have high crime rates. Do not carry valuables in your pockets and limit the amount of cash you carry. If you would like to carry your passport on you instead of leaving it in a hotel safe or other secure location, we recommend purchasing a passport wallet to be worn under your shirt in order to stay inconspicuous. Always keep an eye on your belongings.
It is also important to discuss the role of drugs and alcohol in your safety abroad. If you choose to partake in drinking alcohol while abroad, remember, criminals often target drunk people. Know your limit. Tourists are also often targeted for drink spiking, so never leave your drink unattended and never take a drink from a stranger or someone you just met. In fact, do not drink any drink you did not see made. To be safe, go out with a group of friends. Never leave a friend behind and be capable of identifying what is a dangerous situation such as theft, scams, and assault. Remember, it may be culturally inappropriate to be drunk. Be aware of cultural practices and the legal drinking age in your host country. Drugs are a very serious risk for travelers. Over 1/3 of Americans imprisoned abroad are incarcerated due to drug charges. If you are arrested on drug charges, the U.S. Embassy cannot and will not bail you out. To be safe, do not do any illicit drugs while you are traveling abroad.
Let's recap the most important information from this video. Remember, be careful when swimming, keep a low profile, be cautious of catcallers, ATM theft, and pickpockets. Be aware it is illegal and or appropriate for you to drink alcohol, and do not do any illicit drugs while abroad.
Please move on to the What to Do in an Emergency video to continue your pre-departure orientation. As always, stay connected to UT's Education Abroad office on social media.